Hey everybody, this is Jim the Tabletop Engineer, and thanks for joining me in another playthrough video. Tonight I am going to be playing Arkham Horror, the card game. I am playing the third scenario in the Night of the Zealot campaign, which is the campaign that comes in the core box for Arkham Horror, the card game. Tonight is part 3, the Devourer Below. And if you watched the last video, just to summarize, my two investigators, Harvey and Nathaniel, went on the search with Lita Chandler to find some of the cultists who are going to be meeting at midnight for unknown reasons. They searched the town and they managed to find 3 of the cultists, but 3 of them got away. Now, because of that, it says if there are 3 names or 4 names that got away, place two doom on the agenda. So immediately, the agenda is starting with 2 doom tokens. Let me go ahead and read the summary of the adventure, and we'll get started. After a frantic nighttime search through Arkham, you have tracked down and questioned several members of the cult. Your findings are disturbing. They claim to worship a being known as Umrdoth, a monstrous entity from another realm. You are able to confirm much of Lita's story. The cult is agitated over the destruction of a ghoul lair. However, a surprising detail also turns up. The one who invaded the lair and set this night's events in motion was none other than Lita Chandler herself. You are not sure why this important detail was omitted from Lita's story. Did she tell you only as much as was necessary to draw you into her conflict? But in another light, she seems to be fighting to protect the city of Arkham from a terrible menace. The final piece of the puzzle was found written in a journal possessed by one of the cultists. It describes a dark ritual to be performed deep within the woods south of Arkham, this very night. According to the journal, the ritual's completion will open a gate and bring forth the cult's dark master into this world. If the cult is not stopped, Lita warns, there is a possibility that Umrdoth's vengeance will consume all in its path. Frightened but determined to stop the ritual, you head into the woods. All right, so I have gone ahead and set the game up. I've shuffled my decks. I did do a mulligan on Nathaniel, but not on Harvey. Harvey is starting with 1 mental damage, 1 insanity, and Nathaniel starts with 2 physical damage to his 9. And that's because he got disabled in both previous adventures. I have the encounter deck here. There's a special deck up here that I do not know what's in this. I was careful to follow the instructions, and actually one of these cards doesn't go here. Oh no, these are the ones that get placed aside. Sorry. Let's see, what else? So let me go ahead and read the agenda and the act to you. The first agenda, needs 4 doom tokens to advance. I'm already halfway there. From interrogating members of the conspiracy within Arkham, you have learned that they are performing a rite of vengeance in response to the destruction of one of their master's lairs. You have entered the woods outside Arkham to try to stop them. The woods seem unnaturally cold and filled with a deathly silence. Now for the act. This is what I want to move forward. The evidence you've gathered has led you to the woods south of Arkham, where you believe a ritual to summon a being called Umrdoth is about to take place. Steeling your resolve, you set forth deeper into the woods, hoping to find the site of this ritual. This is going to take 6 clue tokens to advance. They are in the main path. There are no clue tokens here, and there are 4 paths to take in the woods. So, let's get started. As always, I'm going to let Harvey go first. Actually, you know what? I'm going to let Nathaniel go first, and I'll show you why, because I did draw a cool card called Safeguard. By the way, they start with 5 resources each. I keep forgetting to do that. So the first thing Nathaniel is going to do is get out Safeguard. He's going to pay 2. This allows him to follow another investigator in his location. When that investigator moves, he moves. It's like a free move action. So I've got that out. That was his first action. Second action, all of these basically deal with enemies except for the Gret Wagner, which is an ally, but she costs 5, and I don't have that. So I will draw a card for my second action, and I got my weakness. Put self-destruct into play. When you deal 1 or more damage to an enemy, you take a damage. I can get rid of this by burning 2 actions on my next turn. So my third action, I'm going to draw another card. I got Guard Dog. Unfortunately, that was my third action, so I cannot play that this turn, and his turn is over. All right, now Harvey will go. All right, so Harvey, let's go ahead and get this going. So Harvey's going to play Emergency Cash. I leveled this card up with XP. So he draws 3 resources and another card. So I drew a card, okay, and I get 3 resources. So he's got plenty of them. I'm going to go ahead for his second action, get his lab assistant out for a cost of 2. It increases my hand size by 2 from 8 to 10. And as a fast action, after she enters play, draw 2 cards. Got Forbidden Tome, and I got Occult Invocation. All right, so that was his second action. For his third action, I'm going to go ahead and move north. And these all look the same. I don't know what's underneath them, only because they were shuffled and you just put out random. So, as an action, you can heal 1 damage or heal 1 horror. Limit once per turn. Okay, that's pretty good. There are no clues here, unfortunately. And it's a 1 shroud, so I don't need to do anything. I can't heal because, like I said, he starts automatically 2 in deficit, and he starts 1 in deficit in the sanity. So that won't really help at this point. So he he brought his laboratory assistant out for 1. He moved for 2. Now this says he can move here, and it's got 2 other symbols, which I don't know. So those are probably going to make an appearance later. So he brought up the assistant, he moved, and now he's going to move back. That is his third and final action. There are no creatures to deal with at this point, so it goes to upkeep phase. These flip over. Each investigator gets a token, and then they draw a card. He got Vicious Blow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's got 6 cards in his hand, and another weakness for Harvey. Put Obsessive into play. When your turn begins, discard 1 non-weakness card at random from your hand. Then I can use 2 actions to discard this. So it is now the Mythos phase. At the start of the Mythos phase, you put a Doom token on. Now there are 3. Then Nathaniel went first, so he draws a card, and he got Ancient Evils. Place a Doom on the current agenda. Come on. So that triggers it. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. This goes away. You flip it and read it. Throughout the woods, a shrieking cry echoes. From somewhere deep in the forest, a score of hideous voices answer the call, inhuman as the baying of hounds, and yet articulate, repeating a singular name, Umurdoth, Umurdoth, Umurdoth. Shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck and discard cards until a monster is discarded. Spawn that enemy at the main path, then place a Doom token on that enemy. Okay, so this gets shuffled back in, and then I draw a card. I just keep drawing until I find a monster, and it's going to spawn at their location. All right, so let's keep going. Let's go. Nope. Nope. That is not a monster. That is a humanoid. Humanoid. Nope. 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 Monster. Here we go. A ghoul minion spawns here. Now, it doesn't say who it attaches to, so I will choose to attach it to Nathaniel. It is now Nathaniel drew, no, let's see, how did I do this? Nathaniel drew the first card, so this is Harvey's card, which is Ancient Evils. Place 1 Doom on the current agenda. Okay, the agenda is really, this one only needs 5, and by the way, I need to read it. Umurdoth, Umurdoth, Umurdoth. The chanting builds in intensity, echoing into the cold air. The sparse clouds in the sky coalesce above the Arkham woods. Each enemy gets +1 fight and +1 evade. Yeah, this is not a good one. All right, so the ghoul is +1 fight, which makes it 3 and 3 evade, so much harder to kill. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Nathaniel's turn. For 2 actions, he's going to get rid of his weakness. So that leaves him with 1 action only. He will fight this thing. He only has 1 action, so he is going to play... His fight, by the way, is 5 versus 3. I'm going to buff it with this one, which is going to take it to 6, and it does +1 damage, which is enough to kill it. It's got 2 health. So I'm doing 6 versus 2. No, 6 versus 3, excuse me. Shuffle these up, and these tokens are just modifiers to the number. And I got the tombstone. The tombstone is -3. So 6 minus 3 is 3, which is enough to defeat him. It does the 2 damage because I used that. But it also says if there is a monster at your location, take a damage. So he takes a damage for that because there was a monster when I drew that. -3. If there's a monster at your location, take a damage. You could argue that I killed the monster before this, but this was the result of the fight. So, and there was a monster when they were fighting. So I'll take the damage. All right, that is his third and final action. Put this token back in. But at least he got rid of his weakness and the creature. All right, so now it is Harvey's turn. Harvey will spend 2 actions to get rid of his weakness. And then on his last and final action, he will choose to move. Let's go south. We'll go down here. Nathaniel comes with him, so I have to exhaust this. And I get to reveal this. It has 2 clues, 1 per investigator, and a shroud of 2. This location is investigated using fight instead of the skill indicated on the investigation attempt. Okay, that's fine. So let's see. That was his third and final action. All right. So it is now the enemy phase. There are no enemies, so we go to upkeep phase. These flip over. Everybody gets a resource and a card. Nathaniel got 1-2 punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And Harvey gets Disc of Exampa, which I'm so glad I got that because that allows you to discard an enemy, a non-elite enemy. Just bam, dead. All right. It is now time for a Doom token, and then who went first? Nathaniel went first, so he will draw a card. He got an Acolyte. Spawn at an empty location. After Acolyte enters play, place 1 Doom on it. I'll put him on the main path since I'm probably going to have to go back through there, and I can fight him. And I put a Doom token. So now there are 2 Doom tokens. If I defeat him before it triggers the 5, I can remove that Doom token. It doesn't count. All right, so he drew his card. Now Harvey draws his, and he got Dissonant Voices. You cannot play assets or events. And then at the end of my turn, I can discard this. All right, it is now their turn. So here's the funny part. I forgot to ready this during upkeep. Because this one takes fight, I'm now going to use Nathaniel. He has got a fight of 5. You know what? I'm going to get Greta out here, his ally. I'm going to pay the 5. Pay the 5 to get her out. It's his first action. He gives him +1 fight. Now he's at 6 fight versus 2 shrouds. So I like those odds. I just don't want to draw the instant fail token. I got the skull, which is -X. X is the number of monsters in play, 0. So he did get the token. And for his third and final action, he will do it again. He's at 6 versus 2. And I got -1, so that's still enough to beat this one. And so they got the clues. That was his third and final action. Now, the problem is, well, not really a problem. All right, so on Harvey's turn, he's going to play Disc of Exampa for 3. Actually, he can get rid of this. Wait a minute, hold on. He drew this. You cannot play assets or events. So on this turn, he can't play assets or events, which is basically everything in my hand. So all he can do is move 1, and Nathaniel moves with him. And if he moves again, I think this one's, no, hold on. I can't recall how this, whether it fights him or him. So I think what I'll just do is, so he moved 1, and I exhaust this so that Nathaniel moves with him. And let's see, do I have anything that I can use to fight? I don't. Because I can't play events or assets, so I can't play any of the cards in my hand. So about all I can do is try and fight him. I have a 1 fight versus its 3, so I'm going to lose. I'm not sure what to do here. So, you know what? I will just draw some cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll draw a card. I got Burning the Midnight Oil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I can't play anything, so I guess I will just draw a resource. That's all I can do. That is the end of his turn. It is now the enemy phase. Now the enemy will do 1 damage to anyone. So I don't know how this works, but assuming since Harvey moved first, I'm going to play him that he is going after Harvey. At the end of the round, I can discard this. So he goes after Harvey, and he does 1 damage to Harvey. All right, that's fine. That is the end of the enemy phase. Upkeep phase, these flip over. I get a resource for each one of them. I draw a card. I got Glory. I think I'm up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still got 6. And I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's not the end of the round yet. I still have to go through the upkeep phase. So I have to draw a card, but I'm going to have to discard one. So I am going to discard. Nope. I could discard that one because I'm going to get 2 hand size with... Which one gives me +2 hand size? Nope, I guess I do not. So I need to keep that one. Extensive research. Nope, I need that one. Flashlight, disc. I guess I'll get rid of Burning the Midnight, the one I just pulled, because I've got plenty of resources right now. All right. And I drew a card for both of them. Now it's the Mythos phase. This triggers, or this goes to 1. Nathaniel went first, so he draws Yithian Observer. Really? This one doesn't fit with this group. Or maybe it does. Yeah, it does. Ooh, this is a clue as to what I'm going to be fighting. Yithian. Prey, the fewest cards in hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's going to go to... It's going to attack, or it's going to go for Nathaniel. When Yithian attacks you, discard 1 card at random from your hand. If you cannot, Yithian Observer deals +1 damage and +1 horror. Ooh. Okay, so I better defeat him fast. All right, and now Harvey draws, and he got a Ravenous Ghoul. Oh, man. All right, they are getting piled up on here. Okay, so let's do this. So let's go Nathaniel. Nathaniel is going to... This one's the harder kill. So for first action, I'm going to fight this guy. I forgot to reset that. He will get 6 fight versus 4, but I'm going to play for... I don't have 2 resources. Wow. Okay. What I'm going to do is play after an enemy attack. Okay, so I've got Counterpunch. Play after an enemy attacks you, which will give me a free fight. Vicious Blow could do it. Not really. Play after you defeat an enemy. Draw. Oh, man, I don't have anything that's going to help me here, really. Play after an enemy attacks you. This target. Okay, so I could do that. I'll play Vicious Blow, which is going to give me +1 fight and +1 damage. So I've got 5, 6, 7. 7 versus 4. 7 versus 4. 7 minus 0 is 7. So I did beat it, or I did hurt it. So it gets 2 damage. 1 for the hit, +1 for the Vicious Blow, and then he has a special ability that says when you deal damage to an enemy by an event or fight, deal 1 additional damage once per round. Once per phase, so I can only do this once. So it takes a third. I should have done. This will work. So he's got that. So for his second action, he's going to do this again. He's going to, but this time it's 5-6 fight versus 4. Not as good of odds. 6 minus 2 is 4, which still ties, so that defeats the Yithian Observer. It's worth 1 victory point, so I can put it over here. Even though it doesn't really matter because this is the end of the campaign. I can't use XP after this. All right. So that was his second turn. So for his third, he will pull the Ravenous Ghoul to him so it doesn't go after Harvey. And that is the end of his turn. Now, Harvey's turn. Harvey got rid of the dissonant voices at the end of his turn. He's got the Acolyte to deal with a 1 Doom token. His fight is 3. My fight is 1. I don't have anything that will help me fight him. Oh, no, I got the... Oh, I should have used... When a non-elite enemy spawns at your location. Okay. I don't have this into play, but I'm going to put it into play for his first action. So the next time something spawns in my area, I can get rid of it. So that's in play. That was my first action. For my second action, I want to play Forbidden Tome. Well, no. Fight. This attack uses book instead. Oh, I could do this. Oh, yeah, I'll do this. Okay. I'm going to play for 2. I'm going to play Occult Invocation. As an additional cost to play, you have to discard 2 from your hand. I'll get rid of Cryptic, 1, and I'll get rid of... Oh, I'll get rid of Forbidden Tome for 2. That Forbidden Tome is not going to really help me at this game. All right, so now I can use instead of fight, I can use his research ability. And you get +1 research and deal +1 damage. So it'll do 2 damage. He's only got 1 health, so it doesn't really matter. So all I've got to do is I've got 5, 6, 6, and I'm playing 6 versus 3. That is -2. Place 1 doom on the nearest enemy, which would be this one, but it goes away. Oh, no, nearest enemy would be this one, because this one's dead. And so I got to place 1 on that one. All right, that's not bad. So first action was this, second action was this, and yeah, first action was to play that. Second action was to play this. Third action will be... I don't want to move. Actually, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I'm going to move here. I'm going to move, and so Nathaniel will come with him, as will the Ravenous Ghoul. I have to exhaust Safeguard, but I get to reveal this. 2 more clues, and it's got a Shroud of 4. Forced. After you enter, tests 4 sanity. If you fail, take 1 damage and 1 horror. Ooh. All right, so his sanity is 4. Actually, it's 3, but so it's 3, and I need to test 4. So do I have anything that can help him? Yes, I do. Arcane Enlightenment has a bonus 2 sanity, which I will play. So that knocks him up to, that's even. So it's 4 versus 4. And I drew the Elder Sign, which is, Elder Sign gives it +1. So I did do it, and I get to draw a card. Dr. Milan Christopher, nice. Okay. So that was good. So he did, he passed the force. Now Nathaniel has to do it. Nathaniel's sanity is 3, so he automatically is going to fail it unless he can play something to help him. He has nothing to help him, but he doesn't. I have to just hope for a +1 or the Elder Sign. 3 versus 4, and I got the Tombstone, which is -3, so I failed it. It says if there's a monster at your location, take a damage. So yes, I take another damage. And I forgot to put that one back in. Oh well. And then it says if you fail, take a damage and a horror. He's at 5. Oh man, I need a first aid. Okay. Wow. All right, that is the end of. That was Harvey's card that we drew. Okay, so now Harvey moved. Now Harvey's done. All right, so now it is the creature phase. The ravenous ghoul will attack Nathaniel, but rather than let him do that, I get another attack. I'm going to play Counterpunch, which costs 0. It gives me +1 fight, and it says after an enemy attacks you, even if that attack was canceled, which it wasn't, this attack targets the attacking enemy. Play after an enemy attacks you. This is okay. Hold on. Maybe that's not the one I wanted. I thought there was. Nope, that was it. All right, so I will play Counterpunch. He still gets to attack me for 1 and 1. This is not looking good for Nathaniel. He's at 6 damage and 2 sanity loss. So that he attacked me, now I get to fight him. I am at 5, 6, 6 versus 3. No, 6 versus 4. Sorry. And I think I forgot that on the other one, but we'll just let it go. That's 5. That defeats it. So it's got, he does 1 extra damage, so it does defeat the Ravenous Ghoul. And then it says, and this one said, I can play this one for 1. It says fast, so it doesn't take an action. It costs me 1, but I get to draw 2 cards. 1, 2. I did not get what I wanted, but that's okay. That was what was that? That was his, he had to fight, what was it? No, he did this, then he had to, it was the creature phase. Now it's the upkeep phase. All right, everybody gets a thing and a card. Okay, so that's good. That's good. All right, that means there's 2 clues at this location because all I've got is 2, 4. I need 6, so the other 2 have to be here. They drew a card. They got their resource. Now it's the 1, 2, 3. There are 3 tokens out. Harvey went. Did Harvey go first or Nathaniel? Nathaniel went first. So he got Rotting Remains. Test 3 sanity. For each point you fail, take a horror. I am at. My sanity is 3, and I'm going versus 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. I lose. So each point you take a horror. So I lost by 1 point. So I take another horror. Wow. Okay. What am I doing? That was Rotting Remains. And then Harvey gets Wizard of the Order. Ooh, spawn an empty location. Well, it's going to have to go here. It's got Retaliate, which means if I attack and I don't do damage, it hits me. At the end of the Mythos phase, place 1 doom on the wizard. Okay. All right. It is now my turn. All right, so I am going to play, I need to play Flashlight for 2. It gets 3 tokens on it. 1, 2, 3. I will spend a token, it's free action, to lower the shroud by 2. So he's got 2 actions left. So first action, he's going to go, he gets 5 research versus 2 shroud. Do I have anything to bump that? I really don't want to do that. No. All right. So it's just going to be 5. It's 5 minus 5 versus 2. 5. I drew this, which is minus 2. 3. I still do it, but I have to place a doom token. Man, come on. So I got 1 there. And then for his third action, he's going to do it again, which is 5 versus 3, or he'll play another Flashlight. 5 versus 2. I got 5 minus 1, so he gets the other clue. That was his third and final action. So this is, wow. Okay, so Nathaniel's turn. Well, Nathaniel, we need to buff you up, buddy. So Nathaniel is going to, Nathaniel really needs the bulletproof vest. I think you can trade for that, right? Isn't that an action you can do? Hold on just 1 second. I think trade is one of the actions. that I can do. Trade. Is there a trade? There is not. I thought you could. Investigate, move, play, attempt, fight. So no, there is no trading in this game. Okay. All right, so Nathaniel. The Elder Sign would give him 4 sanity. He's down to 3, but he needs a... I'm going to spend his first 2 actions to get 2 resources. This should have reset. And then I'm going to play Guard Dog for 3. That was his third and final action. Any creatures? Well, this one just stays there. Now it is upkeep phase. They draw a card and get a resource each. He got Glory, and he got Mind Over Matter. Fast play only during your turn. Okay. All right. It is now the Mythos phase. Now it says, put a token. That's 5. And it says, at the end of the Mythos phase, place 1 Doom on the wizard. So this is enough to trigger it. And then 1 will go on him. A dark presence approaches, and you are assaulted by invisible pressures that bring you to your knees. A terrible force threatens to invade your mind and soul. Your throat clenches and your eyes water as the sensation burns through you. In player order, each investigator must test 6 sanity. Each investigator who fails must search the collection for a random basic madness weakness and add it to his hand. All right, I'll show you what that is in a moment. All right, so this is bad because they're not going to pass. So his sanity is 4. 4 versus 6. There is no +2. There is no +2. So he's going to fail. I don't believe there's a +2. But let's do it anyway. Actually, he can modify it, right? Sanity. He can add... He can use the encyclopedia to bump it up to 5. And then he can use Bulletproof Vest to bump it up to 6. So he's going even, 6 versus 6. And I got this, which is minus the number of monsters in play. This is not a monster, so I passed it. Nice. Now, Nathaniel must do it. Nathaniel's sanity is 3. And does he have anything to buff that? No. Well... Yeah. This one has 2, a wild and a sanity, so I can do +2. That takes him up to 5. 5. So all I have to hope for a +1, either the Elder Sign or a +1. I got the +1, so they both made it. Didn't see that coming. All right, so that goes away, and now we're on the final agenda. Vengeance awaits. The world begins to shift and change as the ritual nears its conclusion. The air grows chilly, and the entire forest is covered in a layer of rime. The trees bend unnaturally, and their shadows lengthen into weird shape. Forced. When this one advances after 5 Doom tokens, if the investigators are at Act 1, put the set-aside ritual site into play and spawn the set-aside Umberdoth there. If the investigators are at Act 2 or 3, discard all enemies at the ritual site and spawn. So there is going to be a fight, but it's whether or not I can get over here and get 2 tokens before to advance that. All right. So here's how this is going to play. I'm going to move Henry 1, 2, and he's going to fight. He is 5, 6. 6 fight versus 4. I am going to add Vicious Blow to do an extra point of damage and an extra fight. So he's at 7 versus 4. And just to be sure about this, well, I only have the 1. Play after you defeat an enemy. Draw 2 cards. Okay, so we'll play that in a moment. So I'm doing 6 versus 4. I got the Elder Sign. That's 7 versus that. So on his, so it does 2 damage. So I defeat the wizard. That's good. That's gone. And then, because I defeated an enemy, deal 1 additional damage, which is, and then it says, if this skill test, when you draw this, if the skill test is successful, return an event from your discard into your hand. I will do... I guess I'll deal Vicious Blow. No, I'm going to use Monster Slayer because it's a wild card. I can use it for something else if I had to. All right, but because I defeated the enemy, this says after you because I used Greta, after you defeat an enemy. Oh, I forgot to reveal this. There's 2 clues here. 1, 2. All right. When you move out of this location, test 3 knowledge. If you fail, cancel the effects. Okay. Or you don't move. So after you defeat an enemy, exhaust Greta, put 1 damage on her, and discover 1 clue. So I'll put a damage on her, and I get one of the clues. So now I'm at 5 clues. This goes back in the bag. So he moved twice, and he fought. So he is done. That is the end of his turn. You know what? Oh, that's what I meant to do. I had a fast action here. This one cost me 1. It's fast. After you defeat an enemy, which I just did, draw 2 cards. I knew there was something else I wanted to do. 1. I got his weakness. But I also got his brother, which is good. The weakness is an enemy that will do 2 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not good. Not good at all. All right. It is now Walter's turn. He will go move. He has 1 action. He will try to get the 3rd one to pull this. So he is research of 5. He will play the last of his flashlight to reduce this by 2. So it's 5 versus 1. And I got that's -3. And if there's a monster at your location, there is not. This is a humanoid. So don't take any additional, but it's enough to get the 3rd and final token. So now that I have those, I can advance this automatically. Scattered throughout the forest, you see glyphs and arcane symbols in various places, etched into the bark of trees, carved upon the faces of stones, and dripping in blood on the ground. Though you cannot decipher these glyphs, you notice that most of them tend to face south. Following these signs leads you by twists and turns towards a cave in the darkest and coldest part of the forest. As you advance, shadowy figures emerge from the trees, blocking the only path to the cave. Put the set-aside ritual site into play if it is not into play. Okay, the ritual site was here. All right, so these, I think, go away. Pretty sure that's how that works. So you put the ritual site into play. Search the collection for each enemy recorded in your campaign log under cultists who got away and spawn those enemies at the main path. 1 second while I get those. Let's see, where was that? Okay, those were the Midnight Masks enemies, and they were... Let's see if I can find them again. These were the locations. Here we go. So I wrote this down somewhere. So the ones that got away were Ruth Turner, Wolfman Drew, and Herman Collins. All right. So the ones I didn't find are now I'm going to have to fight. So they are here. That's not good. All right. And then I read the next one. The remaining cultists have followed you into the woods to try and stop you, and now they block the path to your objective. They stand ominously beneath the overhanging trees, silent sentinels in the night. You must defeat them or sneak past if you are to gain access to the site. Objective: if an investigator enters the ritual site, advance. So I've got to try to sneak by them. Okay, so I haven't done that yet. So the way this works is, I think it's going to have to be Harvey. Well, yeah, because Nathaniel's going to die. So Nathaniel, all right, so here's what happens. I advance the agenda. It's now the creature phase. Unfortunately for me, this does 2 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm at 8 out of 9, so he is going to die on his next one. I ready all my heroes, my investigators. They each get a thing. I also have to draw for Nathaniel went first. Test agility 3. His agility is 2. And I have nothing. Well, that's not true. I'm going to need these, though. So what I'm going to hope for is that +1. And if I fail this, what happens? Where did it go? Take a damage. If I fail this, I'm going to die. So I don't really have a choice here. Agility. I'm gonna get rid of Randall Cho to bump that up to 3. I'm gonna use Monster Slayer to bump it to 4. I'm doing 4 versus 3. 4 minus 1 is 3, so I did. So he managed to dodge that. Now it is Nathaniel's turn, or Harvey's turn. Harvey got Mysterious Chanting. Place 2 doom on the nearest cult enemy. These are all cults, so the nearest we'll just put 2 on her. And actually, I'm going to put it on... Yeah, I'll put it on her. Yeah, okay. That's not good. All right, it is now Nathaniel. No, all right. What I'm going to do, Nathaniel is going to engage. He's going to engage Herman, and he's going to engage Ruth. And why am I doing this? Because I think he's going to die. And if he does, I need Harvey to get by Wolfman. Wolfman's agility is 2. Harvey's is 2. I'm going to bump that with this to make it 3. And it goes away. And 3, and Harvey, Nathaniel can't do anything. So it's going to be a 3 versus 2 to try to sneak by him. If he does, Harvey makes it to the ritual site. All right, so 3 versus 2. And I got -1, which ties it, so I did sneak by. He is here. I can reveal this. There are 4 clue tokens. And it's a 3 shroud. Okay, so let me remember what it says. It says that if an investigator enters the ritual site, advance. All right, so you flip this over. When you enter the cave, the air grows cold and your nostrils are assaulted by the pungent smell of blood and rot. Shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until 1 enemy is discarded. 2 enemies instead if there are 3 more. Okay, so 1 until. Spawn each discarded enemy. So discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until 1 enemy is discarded. Spawn each discarded enemy at the ritual. All right, so I understand. Okay, so I've got to take this and shuffle it again. And then I'm basically going to be pulling cards from it until I find a, was it a monster or a, I'll have to look at it again. Oh, there's a blue card in there. That's weird. That's not, oh, that was his weakness. So that goes here. All right, so let me look at that again. Not that one, it was this one. Discard until 1 enemy. So it doesn't say, it doesn't matter whether it's an acolyte or a monster. So let's go. All right, nope. I got a ravenous ghoul. All right, so a ravenous ghoul spawns here. Now, this says forced. At the end of the round, if there are fewer than 2 clues per investigator on ritual site, add clues to it until it has 2 clues per investigator on it. Okay. Now, here's the clincher. So Harvey evaded. He moved. Well, no, that was 1 action. That put him here. So he's got 2 actions left. So for his second action, he's going to bring out Christopher Milan for 4, only because he can soak some damage, as can the laboratory assistant. And I keep forgetting, Guard Dog and Alita can, or not, Greta can do that as well. So I might be able to pull this off. Let's try this. So he pulled 2. He's got 3 enemies on him. He's gonna die. I mean, I don't see how I can get away from this. He's got 4 because he got evaded this guy. He's got 4 enemies on him. I'm gonna give Nathaniel up. I'm also on his 3rd action. He'll draw a card. He got bulletproof vest. Well, guess what? He can't play it because that was his 3rd action, and he doesn't have any resources anyway. So it is so. So he went. So his turn is done. He's still got 2 more turns. So there's 4 if there are fewer than 2 per investigator. At the end of the round, if there are fewer than 2, add clues until it has 2 clues per investigator. So you just keep gathering clues. That's weird. At the end of the round. Okay, so I forgot to read this. All right. The site of the cult's ritual is inside a large cavern in a dark corner of the woods. In the center of the chamber is a candlelit circle marked by rocks and arcane ruins. As an action, I can spend... Oh, I got clues. Oh, no, I had to use these earlier to advance that agenda. I forgot to move these. So he has no clues right now. So you can spend 1 clue and do a test 3 sanity or 3 agility. If you succeed, place 1 clue on this act. Objective: if there are 2 clues per investigator on this act, you can advance it. All right, I know what I'm going to do. Or I'm probably going to still lose, but that's okay. He's going to do, for his 3rd and final one, he's going to research, or he's going to investigate. He is 5, 6. He's at 6 versus a 3 shroud. That is -3, so he is okay. If there's a monster, take a damage. There's not, so he gets 1 clue. And that is, so he moved, he played, and he moved. So that is the end of his action. All right, so here's what's going to happen. All these guys are going to attack him. He's dead. These 2 remain here. They go up there. I can't kill these. So, Nathaniel, it was good knowing you, buddy. He's out of the game. Let me just go ahead and flip these over so I don't accidentally do anything with them. Yeah, because, I mean, the damage they do, some of the damage would have taken out the dog, some would have taken out the guard dog, but there was no way I was going to block all of it. So I'm just going to give him up and hope that Harvey can save the day. All right, so Harvey, it is now the end of turn. This one will attack you for 1 damage and 1 sanity. All right, now flip over for the upkeep, draw a card. Get a resource, and add a token. It's now at 3. It can only go to 5. It is now my turn. Oh, I got to draw one of these. Rotting Remains. Test 3 sanity. I've got 4. 4. 4 versus 3. 4 minus 1 is 3. He passes it. All right. So at the end of the round, there were not fewer than 2, so I didn't have to put any more on there. All right, but I do need to get 1 more to advance that. And I'm not going to be able to fight this guy. So on his turn, he will research. He'll do an investigate. He is at 6 versus 3. And he got -2, so he gets the 2nd clue. There's 2 more on there, and he gets 1. But he can now... If there are 2 clues per investigator on this act, there are. I can put them on there. Flip it. You brave the unnatural chill and weave through arcane symbols crossing the threshold of the circle. You smother the markings on the ground, covering them with dirt, breaking apart the carefully constructed pattern of smooth rocks. A shrill noise pierces your ears as the air grows suddenly warmer and the world distorts around you, settling into normality. Read R1. Part 1, the Devourer, R1. You have managed to prevent the cult from summoning its master. Although you're unsure what would have happened had the cult succeeded, you're relieved that, at least for the time being, Arkham is safe. You capture as many cultists as you can find, but very few townspeople believe your tale. Perhaps it was all in your head after all. In your campaign log recorded that the ritual to summon Umendorf was broken. Each investigator suffers 2 mental trauma, as he or she never fully recovers, so he will take an additional 2 trauma, so he's at 3. Each investigator earns a victory. Okay, the investigators win. So that was kind of cool. All right. I had to sacrifice poor old Nathaniel, but Harvey made it through. Nathaniel was the bodyguard. He did his job. He got Harvey to the ritual site, and he defeated... Well, they didn't defeat. They just stopped the ritual from happening. Wow. Now, if the ritual had started, by the way... This card is with okay, so replace the current action with the Devourer below. So you flip this over, and you would have to fight one of these guys gets called. Umerdorf's Wrath. Man, these are ugly. So, all right, that never happened, thankfully. Replace the current act and agenda with the Devourer below. This card is at current, but if Umerdorf is defeated, so it does summon Umerdorf. So you flip it over. The world when the agenda advances, if the investigators are okay, set aside the ritual and spawn the set aside Umerdorf here. Did I not do this right? Oh no, because I was at Act 2. So it set aside Umerdorf. Discard all enemies at the ritual site and spawn. So I did do something wrong. I was supposed to put Umerdorf here at the ritual site. So he would have had to fight him. Oh well. This game can really mess with your head. It's there's a lot of things to remember and stuff like that. But remember, I'm playing it on easy mode, and the reason being is I like the story. So I had a great story here. They went through the town, found the cultists, found the ritual site. Nathaniel sacrificed himself so Harvey could get through. It was very fun. All right, I wanted to play this so that you would get an introduction to Arkham Horror, because after this, the Night of the Zealot campaign is over, and I'm going to be playing another campaign. There were a bunch of expansions coming out for this game, and more are still coming out. So I've got a lot to be playing ahead of you. And so let me take a break. I'm going to decide who I want to play. I really do like playing Harvey and Nathaniel. Now, if I play another expansion with them, I reset their deck, like they're level 0 again, or level 1. They start back at 0. But I really like playing them, so I think I'm going to keep them. We'll see. I may think about it. All right, this is Jim, the Tabletop Engineer. Thanks for joining me as I played through Arkham Horror, the card game. If you have any questions about this game, please post them in the comments area below, and I'll do my best to answer them. If you have any suggestions on which of the expansions you'd like to see me play next, let me know. I'm not saying I will, but you know, if enough people vote for a particular one, that might sway me. All right, that's it for this game. I'll be back again next time with a new Arkham Horror card game. Until then, everybody, take care.